In this video, we're going to build a form in HTML and we're going to put some validation in that the browser will do before the user is able to submit that data. The first thing we're going to do is create a form. There we go. And I'm going to make my method post. Now, the reason I'm using post here rather than get is that the user won't see the data coming back in the URL, and so they don't actually have any chance to edit it. And that's one way that we're keeping our data safe. So there's our form. We're going to create an input. We're just going to make this very simple to start with. So input, now the name equals first, which I needed in talking marks. So name equals first. There we go. And then we're going to have an input, which is type or type equals submit. Okay, let's have a quick look at that and see what that looks like on the page. So here's our page, and we refresh that. And then we have the field for us to type in, and we have the submit button. Now at the moment, you can hit submit, and that will work even if the field is empty. It will work no matter what you put in it. So let's put some validation so we can control what goes in. Well, the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make it required. So the required tag means that you cannot hit submit if there's nothing in it. Okay, so far so good. So there it is, and I hit submit and it won't let me fill it in. So that's one form of validation, and it stops them putting in just nothing at all. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a type, and the type is going to be text. So in this particular case, it will mean that I must put some text in there. Now that's actually not very restrictive at all. Let's see, if I put in numbers, it will still accept it. I just realized I need to refresh that page. If I put in numbers, I think it will still accept it because numbers can be text. There we go, that accepts it. Some other things that we can do is we can put the type as email. So that if we do that, it will actually validate to see if it's in the form of an email address. So if I just type nonsense, it will actually give me some feedback about that, and that's built into the browser. Another thing we can check for is we can check for number. Now number's particularly interesting. So we go back and have a look at number. I'm just going to again refresh that page just so that we're dealing with a new version. So now if I try and type in just nonsense, it actually won't even let me type it in. It's like it's not responding to the keyboard because it will only respond to me putting in numbers. Now, I can try and type in some text there. In fact, why don't we try that? So I'll try and paste that in. I put it in, and when I submit it, it'll tell me please enter a number. So that's a useful form of validation. Okay, let's see what else we can do. I'm going to set that back to text. The other thing we can do is we can actually set the length of the variable. Now, let me just have a quick check about how to do that. So HTML form, validation, length, max length. There we go. So max length, there we go. I'll just copy that. This might not work. So max length equals, I'm going to make it nice and short, 5. There we go. So now the user shouldn't be able to put in any more than 5 letters. Let's have a quick look. So put in a whole bunch. Actually, it just stops recognizing it when I get to 5. That's good. I can also put in minimum. So there's a whole bunch of things that you can do to make sure that the user is giving you the sort of information you're expecting, and you can put some basic checks in there using these methods.